Pagosa Springs and that hunt for the perfect landscape shot. Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Nick. I'm a professional photographer. I've been a professional photographer for the last 4 years, though I've had a camera in my hand for the last 16 as I started as a hobbyist back in high school. Now, if you guys remember last week's video, or actually it might have been a couple weeks now if we hit 1,000 subscribers, because I have another video special that I shot for that. If that is the case, I'm gonna link that right up there. A week or a couple weeks now ago, I released a video where I went and did the 50mm challenge that was set up by Tom O'Neill, and it was a challenge to go out and use a 50mm prime lens to take landscape photos. And it was my first foray back into landscape photography after like 5 years or so. We were going down to Pagosa Springs and I thought that would be the perfect location. I had gone out to shoot in Poudre Canyon with her on one of our hikes, and I really wanted to hit Pagosa because Pagosa is an absolutely stunning area to go and photograph. And we hit the trails, and we hit the trails hard. We were doing several hikes a day. I was carrying around my Nikon D5300 everywhere we went. This thing it's so much fun to actually get out and shoot with this, where I'm not shooting video, though I did shoot some B-roll with this that I'm going to display as we're talking about it. And I had a shot in my head that I absolutely wanted to take, and it was, if you've done landscape photography, or actually any photography at all, you get an image in your head that you absolutely have to take. An image that you want to go out, you want to create, you absolutely want to get that perfect image. And for me, that perfect image was going to be a shot of the cabin we were staying in with the sunset directly behind us, framed up with my car, the cabin, the tree that was up front, and then the sun setting in the mountains behind us. And I tried every night to try and get this shot, or I tried for the lighting to be perfect for this shot. And in the meantime, we went to Treasure Falls.
The sun's coming up over the waterfall.
Which I've shown this photo off extensively of the waterfall. That was with my 10 to 24mm. It was shot at 10mm, f/22 on a tripod. It was a 2-second exposure with an Nikon D5300. And it's one of my favorite shots of the entire trip. It's probably absolutely my favorite. We got that one on the second day of the trip. Well, the day after we arrived. That same day after that hike, we went up to Reservoir Mountain, or Reservoir Hill, down in downtown Pagosa. And at the very top of that is this very stunningly beautiful little observation deck that they have, and it literally gives you a view of almost the entire valley coming down from Wolf Creek Pass all the way down into town. And I got some absolutely stunning and amazing shots up there. Again, these were all shot at like f8, f11, f16, a couple at f22. Really long exposure work done with a tripod, obviously. I don't have an ND filter anymore. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. I'm guessing that it got lost in one of my moves, or I gave it to another photographer who was just getting started. And after that, we went down to Turkey Springs hike, and we didn't go too far because we got kind of run out by a thunderstorm that was rolling in. But I was still able to get some great shots of some of the valleys on that hike. Really moody shots as the clouds moved in. It was absolutely just stunning and beautiful lighting. Pagosa Springs is probably one of the most beautiful places in Colorado, in my opinion. The way that that valley is and the amount of just national forest that surrounds it. Every direction you go, you can find national forest, you find trails. They have trail maps all over the town with just everything you could ever wish for to go out and take some wonderful landscape photos. They got waterfalls, they got lakes, they got stunning, very beautiful lakes that you can get great reflection shots off. The early morning light is to die for. Especially at Treasure Falls, because when we went up in May, the sun was rising directly behind Treasure Falls from when you parked the car at. And I have to say that it was absolutely some stunning shots. Now on the third day, we actually rented a side-by-side UTV or ATV, whatever it's called. And we went on a 2-hour excursion, and I was really excited because we were going to the top of this mountain, and I got some awesome video footage of the UTV. All in the pursuit of this perfect photograph. Now, the perfect photograph that was in my head was of the cabin, the car, all that stuff. But every location we went to, I did a search of the region, the topographical maps, to get an idea. Okay, well, this right here is a cliff, which means it's going to overlook this valley right here. You know, I want to hit that up. Topographical maps are amazing, you guys. If you're going out into the woods on a hike, bring a topographical and just bring a trail map. You line those two up, and you can actually pinpoint where you're probably going to find some amazing shots. Now, when we got to the top of the mountain, it was really, really sunny out. There wasn't very many clouds in the sky, so I didn't really get the perfect shot at the top of that mountain. And then the next day, it just kind of rained all day. Now, did I get my perfect shot in Pagosa Springs, the one that I wanted to get? I did not. I was not able to actually get that shot of the cabin with the sunset behind it, the car, the tree, just that quintessential shot that I really wanted. It's not necessarily a landscape, but I really wanted that photo. And the reason for that is the first night we were there, we went to the hot springs, the Pagosa Springs hot springs, and the sunset was absolutely gorgeous that night. It was absolutely perfect. By the time we made it back to the cabin, sunset was over. One of the consequences of high elevation and having mountains all around you. And then every night after that it rained, so I did not get the colors that I wanted. But in the pursuit of that perfect photograph, I managed to get some absolutely stunning shots, some absolutely amazing time spent with my wife and my dog, and we just had an absolute blast. And what it really has done for me is inspired me to get back into landscape photography. And like I said before, we have a trip to Alaska coming up, so I'll be doing a lot of landscape photography while we're up in Alaska. I haven't decided what camera to bring yet. I'm probably going to bring the Nikon D40. I have a video I'll be working on in probably 2 or 3 weeks with that, so hopefully a week or two after this video comes out, I'll have a review on the Nikon D40 for portraiture. Nick Del Duca is going to be helping me out with that. He's supposed to run the second camera. I hope that all works out. I'm not 100% sure if it will or not. Our schedules don't always match up. But I plan on bringing the Nikon D40 at the very least. I'll probably bring the D5300 and the Sony with me up to Alaska as well. That way I can do some vlogging with the Sony while we're up there. But it really is that pursuit of the perfect photograph, and as disappointed as I was that I didn't get that perfect photograph, the one that I really, really wanted, I have to say that the shots that I did get, the fun that I had, the experience of it all, and overall it was a win. So I think the lesson to take away from this Pagosa Springs trip is that you may have a shot in your head that you really, really want, and you may not get that shot, but just because you don't get it doesn't mean you failed the journey. I am very much a believer in I care about the destination more than the journey. I'm not big on the whole journey part of it. But I think that in this case, the journey was an extremely important part of this trip and of this landscape trip. Now for Pagosa, I kept it a pretty light load, 50mm prime, 10 to 20mm Sigma 3.5, the Nikon D5300, my Sony right here, a really light Amazon Basics tripod, which I have a video review for up there on why I like that tripod, even though it is dirt cheap. But I have to say that I absolutely enjoyed the experience, and I'm glad that Tom pushed me towards going out and doing some landscape photography. Because it had been so long since I had gone out and done it, and it's really got me thinking about what locations around me within about a 20-minute driving range that I really want to capture. And looking over those trail maps and those topographical maps and just knowing the area around me, there's a few spots I think that are within a 20-minute driving radius of my house or of downtown that I can get to and take some amazing shots. I feel like the universe is pulling me back into landscape photography, and I kind of want to follow that. So hopefully we've hit 1,000 subscribers. If we have, I believe I'm giving away a print at 1,500 subscribers. I had that all planned out, that I wanted to give away the print of the waterfall at 1,500 subscribers. I still haven't decided how we're going to do that. Maybe I'll run a poll. We'll see if the community tab is accessible to me at that point in time. And again, if this video comes out a little bit later than I anticipated, this is all probably going to be old news to you. Now at 5,000 subscribers, I am going to do another giveaway. We're going to give a digital camera away. A D5100 is actually where I'm leaning, along with a Yongnuo 50mm prime f1.8, a couple batteries, an SD card, and probably an Amazon Basics camera bag. Everything you need to get started in portrait photography, because that's really where this channel leans, is towards portrait photography at the time being. We are going to be getting into landscape. We're going to do some cityscape work. I've got some night shooting that I want to do, as well as the cinematography, and we still have the review of the Nikon D40 that'll be being filmed here in a couple weeks. So it'll be a week after this video. So a week from when this video comes out, the Nikon D40 video should be done. As long as everything goes as planned, Nick Del Duca would have been our backup on that, shooting the B-roll with his camera, so I'm really hoping to see how that all works out. I want to thank all of you again for coming on this journey. It has been an amazing journey. The channel just continues to grow, and it just makes me absolutely so excited that everyone is on board and having a great time, and the comments and the engagement. And it seems like as we grow, the community gets bigger, and we get all these positive photographers and these people who are like positively trying to approach it, and all these people who are new to photography and they're excited to get out there and create. And I think that's the importance to take away from this video. You may have that perfect shot in your head that you want. Just because you don't get it though, doesn't mean you have failed your shoot. That is my lesson on my Pagosa Springs landscape trip. Now, again, next week, we will probably have the D40 video, if that is filmed correctly, and then the week following that, I'm going to release a video on the actual landscape kit I use on all of my adventures into the Colorado Rockies. So thank you guys again so much. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment if you have any questions at all. All my social medias are down below, as well as all of my merch. The merch is what helps this channel grow. It's why we're able to go out and do these adventures. It's why we're able to start the film series that we'll be doing here soon. And it's how our video quality continues to get better. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye.